JD Payne, welcome to Galata Plus. And now you are, doing the show. Now most people identify this, world with Peter Jackson. So did you and your showrunner say, okay, Peter Jackson done this, he's gone this way, so let's go this way? Did you do anything to kind of differentiate this material from what he's done and what he's shown?
It's great to be with you today. So we shot down in New Zealand, and we were very fortunate to have people who were alums who had worked with Peter before to come and bring some of that institutional knowledge. And I'm a fan of Middle-earth largely because of Peter's films. That's sort of what brought me to Middle-earth, and then after that I read the books and did the deep dive. So certainly we would think referentially about sort of what had come before and what had worked before, and it gave us a great place to start. But then there are also places where we said, you know what, this is a second age. This is more than 3,000 years before those films.
Yeah,
so necessarily we had to find things that would look different and feel different, be felt like they would fit in a wholly different part of Middle Age, or
Right.
sorry, a whole different part of Middle Earth.
Yeah. So, Tolkien was very particular about certain things about the way people spoke, or what, like for instance, Elrond got his own kind of grammar. And I noticed that in this show, you call this character Galadriel, as opposed to Galadriel, which is what it was earlier. Were you striving for some kind of authenticity, while doing this?
Yes, we have a dialect coach, Leith McPherson, who is absolutely wonderful. And Tolkien gives us a lot of direction and instruction on exactly how certain words are meant to be pronounced, and we were meticulous in making sure that our Elvish pronunciation was right on, down to every name or any Elvish phrase that we used. I myself speak some Elvish, and Leith gave me a lot of pointers on how I could make sure my Elvish was as impeccable as possible.
Many beloved characters that people have come to know from the Peter Jackson universe, like Frodo or Gandalf, they're not yet here because this is the second age of Middle-earth. So if I were to ask you for an elevator pitch of the series, how would that be?
Well, we could say so. The second age takes place thousands of years before the stories before Frodo or Bilbo ever picked up a ring, and it starts with the forging of the rings of power. As you remember, 3 go to the elves, and 7 go to the dwarves, and 9 go to men. So that's one of our big stories. And then it's also the rise of the Dark Lord Sauron, who forges the One Ring, and the downfall of Numenor. And then lastly, the last alliance of elves and men that comes together to defeat Sauron. But the One Ring survives and then moves on into the stories people know.
Wow, that's a long elevator ride.
Yep.
Okay. Do you go all the way up to the third age, which is Frodo and Bilbo and all those people, or haven't you decided yet?
Well, so they come towards the end of the third age, and we're going to the end of the second age.
Okay, that's the series. Okay, and how much of this is from Tolkien, and how much of this is from the imagination of your writers?
So Tolkien has given us the skeleton, and in a lot of places, a lot of flesh, but we like to use the analogy, it's like stars in the sky, where he gave us a lot of different points, and our job is to connect to them, and then to fill in the places where there's some gaps. So there's a lot of room for imagination, and this is how Tolkien wanted it. He said that he wanted to create a mythology that would leave room for other minds and hands, wielding paint and music and drama. So we have the enormous and humbling task to be those other minds and hands.
That's great. Thank you, and all the best for the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.